everyone, I'm Transmorphs328 here with an update. First of all, I'd like to address something that I thought of as a possible counter-argument towards my Eryizo commentary. No one is going to know all this moveset shit their first time playing. And while that is true, as players would try to accommodate for the gym's themed type rather than the leader-specific mons because, well, we've advanced a lot but we're not psychic yet, what if they come across something that completely screws over their type advantage strategy? Imagine if Eryizo does his Unova starters video and gives Snivy the upper hand against Elisa for its resistance to electric, despite Emolga's having a clear type advantage over her with their aerial ace, which never misses by the way, not to mention her Zebstrika's flame charge. Even taking into account the available mons at the time, there's still a ton of problems that arise from trying to tackle the gym with the Sandile or Boldore. Sandile's ground moves mean nothing to the flying squirrels, and since Boldore isn't part ground type, and contrary to popular belief, rock doesn't resist electric, Boldore's shit special defense and lowest flux speed is going to hurt it big time. This raises the question of who exactly this video series was made for. Casual players are more likely to pick their starter based on their looks or type loyalty than they are on statistical advantages, though there are some that would. New fans aren't going to look up something as specific as the Hoenn starters video, and even by their logic, Swampert doesn't get a victory over Steven in their video, despite having a similar advantage against Watson that they counted. Yet Blaziken only has an advantage over Norman due to its dual typing, which can be argued as a primary reason it's able to defeat Steven so easily. I keep bringing this point up because even a casual player will pick up on Swampert's ground type moves having an advantage over Steven's steel types. And he doesn't even have all steel types, given that a few of them are either rock or ground type, a selection of which makes sense for his character. Hardcore players have already gone through this, and a simple face value analysis like this wouldn't really cut it for them, especially if they figured out shit about the major in-game trainers that they didn't cover. Like how Wallace has nothing to use against Swampert that isn't neutral resisted or an instant kill move that won't hit if you're over leveled. Besides, you could just use the legendary you probably just caught against them, especially Primal Groudon. Speaking of which, most players would be gathering appropriate teammates from the first few routes and wouldn't rely completely on their starter to defeat the in-game trainers you'll have to deal with. By the time you reach the Elite Four, there's next to no reason to use the starters over teammates you chose to specifically cover those weaknesses. I didn't apply it to the commentary aside from when they did, because I figured I may as well go by their logic of only using a specific starter against a particular gym leader or Elite Four member. And secondly, the biggest reason why I'm making this update, I decided to cancel the Aria of Sorrow review because even with the Eryizo commentary giving me more motivation, I'm still getting nowhere fast, and that may have to do with my increasing disinterest in the plot synopsis format of reviews. You know, the format that I obviously stole from the Nostalgia Critic. Doug probably isn't the first person to do that style of video review, but he certainly popularized it. Aside from going over everything, which makes it shaky at best in terms of fair use depending on how many clips you feel you have to use to get your points across, my biggest concern is that sometimes you end up making it more as a straight-up story summary or walkthrough in the case of a video game review in that format, without enough changes to make it a proper review. And I feel that the Aria of Sorrow review was turning into this. I'm not abandoning the format altogether, but I'll only apply it if I feel it most appropriate, where I can interject more like in, say, my Mask of Light review, where I can at least make jokes if I can't properly criticize it. Maybe one day I'll come back to the game and review it in a more proper format, but for now, I need to move forward with other projects, so I'll let you guys know what I thought about it. I happen to really enjoy the game. I like the way they present the characters, and Soma's character arc is an engaging and memorable one. I really enjoy how the absorbing of souls mechanic can easily overlap with experience grinding, giving you two goals you're working toward despite it being tedious either way. The enemy variety is impressive, even with the recolors. The amount of unique souls you can get allows many unique ways of traversing the castle and disposing of enemies. The castle is big, but the specific areas are memorable and not much of a hassle to traverse through. And the game has some good music and fun boss battles. My only real issue is that some souls you need to complete the game force you to swap out some of your souls, especially when there are a few souls that provide permanent movement upgrades, even if some of them are worthless to have on all the time like Galamoth. But otherwise, I greatly enjoyed my time in Castlevania Stuck in a Solar Eclipse in Modern Times. In Japan. I'm sorry that I had to cancel it, but I'm not getting anywhere with a video that would more than likely turn into an old shame later down the line, and I need to put something major up sometime soon. I'm also postponing the NBC Constantine and 86 Transformers reviews indefinitely because I don't want to be pressured by trying to meet an anniversary date, which would likely make the product turn out worse by comparison. Granted, it's not impossible to make your work come out in good time with a special event going on, but if I feel less like I have to make it by then, the happier I'll feel in creating these videos and making my opinions known in an engaging, informative, and entertaining way. Point is, I want to make videos however I want, whenever I want, with no set schedule. That way I can make these videos better. I'm hardly the first channel to realize they're going down a bad direction and need to change course fast for their own sake, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. I'm Transformers Fanco328, and next up is the Fates follow-up, which is several months too late, I know, but I just have to get what I say in that video off my chest before I get into other projects, like Mega Man X6! Oh boy!